Hey, Pawn family, welcome back to another Facebook Live here with the Pawn Leaders. And I'm super excited because I am here with Dana Machado, and we were on a call just testing out StreamYard. I was showing you how to use it. And I basically said, like, hey, let's jump on a Facebook Live.
Yeah, he did. He gave me no chance to prepare. Couldn't do my hair, nails, makeup, whatever. He's like, let's just go live. We're going to go raw. We're going to go real. Let's do it. So
That's it. And I think this is the best time to go live and go real and go raw. Why? Because of what I call it's like the pawn reset, right? There's a lot of people who are going through, palm balances going down and they're freaking out. What am I going to do next and what's happening? And obviously just of those, I can't even speak. For those of you who don't know, Diana's not in the pawn industry anymore, but you were formerly known as the Pawn Princess. So tell us, how long were you in the pawn industry for, and how the Pawn Princess came about, and then we'll talk about what you're currently doing.
Okay. So I've been in the pawn industry for 19 years. So basically my whole adult life. I started really young. I was like 8 years old when I started. I'm joking. Come on, go laugh with me here. I worked with Cash Canada, which is the biggest pawn shop chain in Canada. Really, it's the only corporation that we have in Canada for the pawn industry. And in 2008, the company was not doing too well. So we had we had one owner. We went from a publicly traded company to a private, and we ended up having one owner named Tim Latimer, which a lot of people in the industry know who he is. So in order for us to kind of grow the industry and grow the loan base, because we all know that without a loan base, you really have nothing. He approached me and said, hey, would you dress up as a princess and go out to the stores and teach our staff how to provide customer service? So I was like, come to work and wear a tiara? Hell yeah, I'm doing it.
I'm in.
So we created the concept because we thought, how do we get people in the store? So they branded that image to say, okay, we're going to change the industry image. Pawn shops are not a scary place. We're family friendly, and who's going to be scared to go into a pawn shop that has a princess, right? So we used that to get the client base. So they would come in, that led foot traffic. Once they were in the store, now it was my job to teach our employees how to treat them properly and get them to keep coming back. We had a mandate to hit a certain loan base. At that time, we had to be $1.7 million outstanding for us to continue our business. Well, we went from 1.1, I think we were 1.3 when we started, to well over 3 million without even realizing how quick it went. And we contributed a lot of that success to having the Pawn Princess and just our heroic customer service mentality. And that's kind of how it happened.
Amazing. So if you're watching live, let us know in the comments where you're watching from and who you are, so we can say hi to you. Also, for those of you who haven't listened to Tim Latimer's podcast episode, it's episode 95 of the Pawn Leaders podcast. And it was kind of like ranked one of the best podcast episodes because Tim he went out. I think it was like an hour long. It was like the first over an hour episode I've done. He's like, Yigal, I'm sorry I spoke too much. I was like, no. This was outstanding. It was brilliant. Like I go back and I listen to it myself. So I think that you got to work with somebody who's a brilliant pawnbroker, entrepreneur, marketing mind. So that's awesome for you. So we've got Dave Griffiths watching from Portland, Oregon, checking in. You'll see some people showing up. So tell me, like, when it came to branding the Pawn Princess and that whole idea of doing something different, right? And you're like, hey, I can wear a tiara every day and go to work. How did that feel first with changing the pawn image in the company, right? What was that like? What started happening?
Well, at first we kind of took it a little bit as a joke. We're like, this isn't going to go anywhere. This is just something that's going to be really small within each group. And then we actually got the employees involved. We dressed them up. We used to have a sales king and a wizard, a wise wizard. They had a meeting without me there and decided to cut them out and just focus on the Pawn Princess. And I was like, so I got to do this on my own. Like, what the heck, right? It really started getting the culture in the stores. The employees were happy. They thought this was fun. When a princess was doing a visit, it became an event, and it was, there was lunch for the employees. Again, just little things that didn't cost very much money, but culture is everything. So if your employees are happy, they're going to treat your customers great. And if your customers are happy, then, I mean, we all know this, guys, it's going to trickle down to the bottom line. It's going to come up as profit, right? Yeah. And the comment that you made about Tim Latimer, he is still one of my mentors to this day. Just an amazing man. And anyone in our industry, in the pawn industry, please reach out to him. I'm going to voluntold him to help you guys with anything that you need.
That's awesome. So it's my goal. I know you can see the banner. We're doing the Power Up Pawn virtual event. I'm going to reach out to Tim. Hopefully he can speak at the event. It would be awesome. Now, we talked about culture and we talked about how important that is. I also want to talk about having fun. And I think that it's a lot of pawnbrokers are missing having fun. It's very transactional. They might have some fun with their clients here and there. But I think that like people walk in needing cash. And if you give them fun, you make them clients for life. You create super fans. You agree with that?
I agree. I mean, think about it. Our customers, they don't really want to be there. Chances are they've gone to their friends for money, their family, and they really have nowhere else to go. They're finding themselves in a cash crisis. And when they come in, they don't want to be treated like they're nothing, right? So if they, like, my mentality always is, when I saw any customer come in, I treated them as if they were a friend that I hadn't seen in years. Just hey, how's it going? Just super happy. I'm glad you're here. I'm here to service you. How can I help? And just having that mentality, I still to this day, if I go into any of the Cash Canadas, customers still know who I am. They're like, hey, I remember that day that you sold me a guitar for my son, or hey, when you gave me that money for me to be able to buy diapers. So you're creating that emotional connection, that personal emotional connection with your clients will have them coming back, but it also it's word of mouth, right? They're going to tell their friends, hey, I went to this location. They treated me great. Go see Diana. She was nice and she genuinely cared. So being genuine and kind, I think takes you a long way in our business.
I love that. A lot of pawnbrokers talk about having to know your numbers and having like strategy, and I talk about that as well. But I think one of the most important things is, like you said, being genuine, being kind, being transparent. So because people are going through a tough situation, so if they're coming in and you can make them smile, which was one of our goals when I was in the pawn shop with my brother, which was, man, if we can make everybody smile walking in here, it would be amazing. And we did. We had the joke of the day, and we high five people, and we created a culture, because it's not just the business culture; it's also the customer culture that matters.
Absolutely. Right? Yeah. And we used to do events. We did big ones quarterly. We would have stuff that we do every month. But I mean, we had karaoke contests for our customers in the store. I know it might sound ridiculous, but you know how many times our customer had fun to come in. You know what? Come in, sing a karaoke song. I'm going to give you 10% off. Right. And I mean, and really, we're probably already giving them 10% off anyway. And our customers loved it. And we posted it on Facebook and stuff, right?
Yeah. Listen, the reason why I think that we get along so well is because we're in the same mindset. And I'm about to bring up something. Let me see if I can bring it up. So I'll show you this. Let's see if you guys can see it. We're on Facebook Live. Hopefully this will work. So every holiday season, my brother and I, we'd throw a holiday party, and there'd be thousands of people there. And we'd do singing competitions and dancing competitions, and we'd have local dance troops come and dance, and we would have, free food, and it was just, let me see if I can bring this up real quick.
Free food.
What?
People love free food.
Yeah, listen, people love free food, and they love just having a good time, and they love, I don't know if you can see this or what I'm doing with them. So, we just had like thousands of people there, and it was a way for us to give back. It was a way for the customers to say, like, there's no other shop like this. Like, who does this for us, right? Yeah. Obviously, with COVID, you can't have an event like this anymore. But what's that thought process? So, let me ask you this question while this is playing, and I'm going to take this off in a moment. Because you're not in the pawn industry anymore, and we'll talk about what you're doing today, and I think it's amazing. If you were in the pawn industry today, what would you do, considering the fact that loan balances are going down, people aren't walking in as much? What would you do? What would Dana Machado do?
what would I do?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be business as usual. I mean, we hopefully know that this COVID thing is going to be temporary. We hope, and those customers are going to need us. So right now, it's probably the best time to stay connected with your clients, be it virtually. Again, kindness is going to go a long way, because even though they may have extra funds and they don't need to borrow from you, there's a lot of mental stress going on right now for these people, and sometimes they have nowhere to go. There's people that we deal with that you might be the only person in their family that they have a connection with on a daily basis. And if we shut them out, they're not going to have that anymore. Right. I mean, and obviously you're gonna have to focus on sales right now because people are not going to need the money. So I would probably be doing a lot of, sales things. Mother's Day is coming up, so I'm sure the majority of people are doing that. But I think keeping in touch with your customers, reach out to them. And, we used to send birthday cards. We send just little homemade cards. We call them PECs, which is personal emotional connection cards. Send them out to our clients. Hey, I'm thinking about you during this time. Just to let you know, I just wanted to say hi. It doesn't cost you much to send that out. But again, it's going to keep you in front of mind when they do need you again.
100%. I love that. And so, again, we talked about, you talked about birthday cards and connection. And in the mastermind, we keep on touching on like connecting with your client, and we've giving tons of resources to do that and strategies. But yeah, connect with your client. And what I believe is that there's so much news, Diana, of negativity and the COVID, and the people forget about you. Mm-hmm. And the more that you're connecting with them online, Facebook, birthday card. We had a podcast episode that somebody said, send a half birthday card every 6 months, right? To get their attention, to remind them like, hey, we're still here. Hey, you can buy from us, or, if you need a loan, we're here for you. So you've got to get in front of the customer. You got to get in front of the noise to be able to make it happen.
I mean, what other business does that? Think about it. I mean, we're in it, our business is very luxurious. I mean, we're able to have that one-on-one connection with people. And no, not to badmouth anybody, because that's not my style, but imagine someone from a big bank doing that.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, everyone's so busy focusing on, you said, the numbers, which are absolutely important. If you measure it, it's going to improve. I am a big believer in that. But I think that we need to start focusing on measuring our relationships with our clients more than just, our loan base and our sales and our profit margins, because that, at the end of the day, that's what's going to keep you standing, is going to be that relationship with your customers.
Yeah. Love that. Love it. Dan, let's talk about what you're doing now. I think it's brilliant. And I think that people need to know what you're doing, what you're up to in the world. So tell us about Lady Loans, what it's about, how you're giving back, and how you're helping these ladies with small loans.
So yeah, Lady Loans is a new company. We opened it up at the end of October. So obviously, after leaving the pawn industry, what am I going to do now? And loaning is my world, right? And I love the pawn industry, and I'm a born pawnbroker, and it'll always be in my heart forever. But I said, how do I help other people? And during my Pawn Princess days, we did a lot of charity work around, especially Christmas time. We had a thing called Wish It Forward, which someone could make a wish on behalf of someone else in need. And through my tenure and my experience, I found that a lot of the people are struggling with women. And again, this is not a hate man company. Absolutely not. I, love my husband. Men are great. Okay, so that's great. However, women, we know, and speaking for myself, we want to succeed at work. We want to succeed at being moms, being cooks, being teachers, you name it. And it's a lot of stress. And sometimes we don't want to burden anyone in our family with our problems or our stresses. So I thought, well, how do I take this concept of being able to help women? I grew up super poor, and I had no food sometimes, and women were not allowed to work where I'm from. And my mom, she used to clean houses in secrecy, and the women in the village would pay her in food, just so me and my sister would have food. So I grew up in that mentality of women's, or that village. You hear it say it takes a village to raise a family. I grew up with that. Let me tell you that you can't get away with anything when anyone in the village knows, when everyone knows who you are. They will smack you down and tell you, go back home. But I did have that. I did learn a lot that having those people surrounding you, that support system, can really go a long way, and it can give you a lot of support. So how do I take that to today's age? Half the people don't even know their neighbors anymore. Right. So I said, okay, I want to stick to the loan industry because that's what I know. And I want to be able to help women, not just financially, but also emotionally. So that's where the Lady Loans concept came from. So we offer unsecured loans. When I was in the pawn industry, average loan was $120. My average loan now is $3,000. So quite a big difference. I went from being secured to being non-secured. So my loans are based on relationship. And I loan more, and I loan to ladies that tend to have a little bit of bad credit. But we offer So basically the process is I call, do a phone interview. If you are approved, I actually come and visit you in your home. We're going to have coffee. We're going to be transparent. I'm going to tell you about me. You're going to be vulnerable with me and tell me about what you're going through. We're going to do a budget together because I cannot in good conscience give you a loan if you can't afford to pay it back. I'm not doing you any good and not doing me any good, right? Which is really eye-opening for a lot of these women to say, whoa, I thought I made more money, or hey, I'm spending way too much money at Tim Hortons, which is Canada's big coffee house. And we're able to help them to see where their money is being allocated. And then if that wasn't enough, we actually provide them with a sisterhood of women supporting women. And these women they've all received loans. So they're all through Facebook Messenger, and there's a group of 10 women per group, and they go for coffee together sometimes. They just, one woman, her mom passed away. Another woman drove from the other side of town just to be with her. She's never met her before. Never. I'm getting goosebumps because it was just so emotional for me to be able to connect these women without even realizing what was happening. And those are just some of the little things. We offer 24/7 emotional support service. So if you are feeling stressed out, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, God forbid, you can reach out to them via text, phone call, email, however you feel comfortable. They'll come visit you if need be and help you through that. And it's a very non-judgmental environment because these women understand what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck and not have the emotional support in their lives that they need. So yeah, that's a little bit about what we do, and we're fairly new, and COVID's put a little bit of a damper on what we're doing. So we're going virtual, but you know what? We'll adapt to our environment, and I'm sure this will be very successful.
And what I love about what you said is your heart and you're giving back, but not just that, is you're creating community. And it's something that you did in the pawn business. It's something that you're doing in Lady Loans. And so the importance of creating community with your customers, I think is essential to be able to grow the customer base through word of mouth, through and just create people who love the product, which is Lady Loans today. It could be a pawn shop, whatever that is. So for those of you watching, thinking about like, how can I create a great community of support? How can I give back to people today? Like you mentioned, emotional support, right? Like how amazing would it be? And I talked about this in the mastermind today. To offer a homeschooling resource to your team or, your community, because people are going through some tough times right now and they've got kids at home. And so how can you offer something that's above and beyond a product or a service that you're used to giving?
Absolutely. And I think and you talk about customers, and I'm always gonna, customers mean the world to me, but your employees do as well. And we're creating private Facebook groups for our employees just to kind of help have a place, an outlet where they can talk about their emotions. That, what did you cook for dinner today? Little challenges, and nothing stopping you from creating that with your clients. Have little inspirational quotes on your Facebook for your clients. Reach out to them in that sense. Do contests. You can. What does an acquisition cost for a customer when you're doing marketing? If it's $50 a customer, give away $50 to a current customer to say thank you. Again, word of mouth. They're going to say, hey, my local pawn shop just gave me $50 because I posted a picture of what I cooked last night and they got more likes than the other people that posted. Simple. It might sound ridiculous, but it's going to go a long way.
Yeah, I love that. So if you're watching this or you watch this on the replay, let me know #live or #replay. That's a great idea. Go on your Facebook page, post up, hey, this is what we cooked tonight. What did you cook? And the best dish gets $50. I love that. Love that idea. It's connecting with your customer base. It's connecting with your community. This has been awesome, Dana. I know this was like impromptu. I knew that you could pull it off because you've got the charisma and you can get it done. If anybody has a question for her, let me know in the chat box, and we'll get a question. We'll get a question going for you. For those of you who are watching, if you haven't signed up for Power Up Pawn, it's going to be a virtual event, 21 speakers, 7 days, starting June 15th. It's going to be huge. It's a free event hosted by myself and the pawn leaders. So just go to poweruppawn.com and sign up for the wait list. And then we'll get you more information as the tickets come out and you can get a ticket. So we've got tons of people watching. This is awesome. Dana, once again, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And take care, everybody, and stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye, everyone.